Bob Bleu Theater is about to open its 27th season with a new play by William Missouri Downs. WMD, Weapons of Mass Dramatization? I'm Lenny Scovel, and this is Stages. Welcome. We are at Bob Bleu Theater, just ahead of the opening of their latest production, the opening production of the 2018-2019 season, Mr. Perfect, written and directed by Mr. Perfect, William Missouri Downs. We are also here with Bob Bleu founder, Wendy Ishii. Thank you both for sitting down with us today.
Thank you, Lenny.
All right, Bill, tell us about the play. What's Mr. Perfect about?
It's a comedy, a romantic comedy about a woman who listens to romance novels, and one day on a flight, she bumps into an actor who records romance novels, and hilarity ensues. What can I say? They immediately try to make love in the bathroom of the Airbus, and when that fails, she attempts to go out on a journey to find the meaning of life.
Like you do.
Like you do.
Yeah.
She tries to find Mr. Perfect, and as every woman in the audience knows, he doesn't exist, but I managed to somehow create a happy ending.
So was there any particular incident, or what was your inspiration for this?
You know, I never remember the inspiration. My wife will say something to me and I'll go, oh, that's a good idea. And I run back into the study and start writing. And I'm like a child with crayons and an empty wall. And I just keep drawing until a story emerges. And that idea hit me and I started writing.
Very good.
Yeah.
So what is your process for writing? Do you religiously sit down every day and try to write?
Every day. I write at least 300 days a year. I generally wake up. I have what's called the farmer's gene, which forces me to wake up between 3 and 4 in the morning. So I up no later than 4, and I'll write until 9 or 10. And most of it's junk, but every now and then a good joke comes out or an idea. And so I've been doing that for, how long have I been writing, Wendy?
A long time. Well, you used to write sitcoms, right?
Yeah, I started as a sitcom writer. Well, I started as an actor, but I was a terrible actor. I was really bad at it. And as a last desperate attempt to have a life in the arts, I started writing plays and eventually went to Los Angeles and wrote for a number of television shows and discovered that life was horrible. I really expected it to be the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Right.
You know, I thought it was going to be Buddy Sorrell and Sally Rogers, and you sit in a room and have a great time. And it was more like, I don't know, Saddam Hussein and Caligula. They were just horrible, horrible people. And after about 10 years of doing that, I thought my sanity needed to get out of Los Angeles, and I wanted to breathe. So I moved, and I moved to the Rocky Mountains, and I went back to writing plays, and I love it. It's fun.
Now, you mentioned something that I wanted to explore a little bit. You said that you've been an actor. Do you still act at all?
No.
He will.
Oh, no. I'm at that age where you can't remember lines. My wife always says to me, a noun, I need a noun, Bill, because I come right up to the noun and I cannot remember the noun in the sentence. And so she'll just go, give me a noun, so she can understand what I'm saying.
I heard a little trick for that, though.
Yeah.
When you can't remember that, you say, oh, what's the word in English? Because that way, you look like you're bilingual and not an idiot.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Although
Stealing that.
After 40 years together, I don't think she's going to buy it. Yeah.
But you have acted, and you've also directed right? So you're the triple threat in the theater.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah, right.
If I could sing, that would be true.
But talk about that. Talk about the intersection of those things, right? That none of them exist in a vacuum.
No, and there's a lot of prejudice against playwrights directing their own work. And Wendy's one of the few who doesn't have a problem with it.
I have
Well,
no problem
it's worse
with
if
it.
playwrights direct themselves acting. In
Oh, that's even worse, yes.
And I have no problem with that either. I have seen that done brilliantly, and I've seen it not work. But it depends on the person and the situation. But those people who make that law of, oh, you can't direct yourself, or playwright can't direct, it's bullpucky.
I go into rehearsal and I tell the actors that the playwright is dead, that the playwright has been dead for 70 years, the script is now in the public domain, and we can do anything we want with it. And so we just have very creative rehearsals there where the script inspires. We don't try to make the script a carbon copy of a previous production. So this is a totally unique production of Mr. Perfect.
because the playwright's been dead for.
That's
7
right.
years. Poor dead.
Poor Dead Playwrights.
Yep, poor-
That's a good title.
Yeah.
Dead Playwrights.
Poor
Don't you
dead
have
playwrights.
that? Dead white men?
Yeah, I've got a play called Dead White Males, but there's saying in the theater is the best playwright's a dead playwright. And that's what directors always say. And when I direct my own plays, I feel the same way. Yeah.
So tell us about your cast for this show.
Oh, I got a fantastic cast, 4 wonderful actors. I'm so lucky. I'm honest with you,
Can you
Wendy.
tell me something?
Yes.
Secret?
This is one of the best casts I've ever had.
Good.
And I've had over 150 productions of my plays. And I have a magical cast full of wonderful actors who took the idea that the script was the starting point and have just begun running with it. I'm the luckiest director in the world.
So but the playwright's not dead. Does any part of that process then, I mean, do you tweak as you go along at all?
yeah.
Or?
I tweak to the actor. So what's the talent of a particular actor? I'll tweak to them. And so they feel, I think sometimes they feel so comfortable because half of it is the script and half of it is themselves. And I try to put those together and create a unique bit of theater. I'm tired of what I call shadow theater. That is a copy of a previous production. That's a previous production. I saw a production of what was it? The Crucible. And it was 3 hours long, and it was like every other production of The Crucible I'd ever seen. And as I walked out of the theater, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm old enough now that I probably will never have to see Crucible again for the rest of my life. I'm tired of shadow theater. I want each one of my productions to be totally unique. And that's what Wendy allows. She allows completely unique productions. And that's what makes this theater special. You'll go to other theaters and you'll see another production of Death of a Salesman. And the set and the acting and the script will be like all other productions of Death of a Salesman. You come to the Bas Bleu, you see very special, unique, individual evenings of theater.
Speaking of unique, it is a unique set that we have going on here.
Out of doors.
Tell me about the doors. What's the concept of the doors?
We had this concept that the play is about chance events. And of course, the idea that what door do you walk through in life? If I had taken door number 3 instead of door number 1, my life might have been very different. And so we put that up as a giant symbol on the set. And then it was also very cheap. We happened to have a lot of doors, so we went, that's a great idea. We can save some money on the set.
Jana Gurvich is designing the set,
Yeah.
and she is amazing. I think this is her 3rd or 4th show that she's designed here, and I just am in awe of her work.
So creative.
So what's your approach early in production meetings? How do you communicate with your designers about what your vision of the show is, or what images you want to evoke to support the text?
I am very dependent on my designers. I find too many directors come in and treat the designers as puppets. Tell them what the vision is, and then you go do what I want you to do. And I find that if I work more as a collaborator with the designers, often they come up with ideas that are much better than anything I've ever thought of. After all, they're designers.
Right, that's their thing.
That's their thing.
Yeah.
And so I open up and I try not to come in with a finished idea, but a few basic images and thoughts, and then wind them up. I think a director's job, and I think an artistic director's job, which is what Wendy does so well, is to wind people up, get them going, get them into the creative stew, and then see what happens. So, and because the script is in play, I own the copyright, I can change the script should a designer come up with a great idea, and I can say, wait a minute, let's change this to fit that particular idea. So we have a much more cohesive production. Yeah.
And like your friend who you're talking to on the phone in Italy the other day, we're planning 3 seasons ahead now. And we had this meeting at Bill's house the other day, and a play that we're considering for not this season, but next season. Suddenly he's calling the playwright in Italy, and he's talking like this, and he says, okay, she's going to holiday it up for us. And I'm like, who are you talking to? And he's
I said, would this be a good holiday play? And the playwright went, yeah, let's do it. You know, playwrights generally are very open to new ideas and change if you just talk to them. You know, just call them up and say, hey, we'd like to do this. And generally, they're pretty open to new ideas.
So is there any playwriting workshop kind of stuff in the...
I should give a playwriting workshop. That's a good idea.
We have something, it's been kind of in hiatus for a while, but we want to, I think there's now some energy here to bring it back to life. It's called Playpen, capital P, one word. And that's to do new plays and to, you know, because one of the things that I think is so valuable for playwrights is to hear their words out loud or see what actors will do, and then they can go, oh yeah, that moment works or that doesn't, or, you know, one thing we're doing this season is we are shortening our main stage runs to 4 weeks instead of 5, which gives us, and we're also lowering our prices because we want to bring in some younger audience members, and but what that's going to do is give us some breathing room between shows where we can do some workshops, the puppet workshops and the mask workshops and playwriting workshops, and small runs or readings of plays that might not sustain a full run.
Right.
So a lot of, that's the joy of owning our own building.
Well, and because in reading your bio, I saw that you were a finalist for Eugene ONeill.
Yeah,
would that have been the residency at?
No, you actually, at the Eugene ONeill, you have semifinalists, finalists, and then you go to the double secret probation, the 4 that make it to the top. I've never made it to the top 4, but that's out of 1,000 scripts. I have made it to the last 50.
Well, many years ago now, I was at the Eugene ONeill Theater Center in Waterford, and got to see a play being workshopped in there, because they have an old barn, right, if you've been there, and actors with scripts in their hands, playwrights waiting in the wings, just modular pieces to suggest sets and so forth. Right. And I found that to be really engaging. You know, when you first walk in, you think, oh, that's kind of weird that they've got scripts, you know, but what's exciting is you know that actor could walk off and the playwright could say, here, give me that script, and tear out 3 pages and put 2 new ones in and say, try this. Right. You know, that, and this space would be uniquely...
With a new script, when you go into previews, often you rewrite after each preview, and the actors are forced to relearn their lines by the next performance, so it'd be quite tight.
Yeah. But it'd be a playpen. It would be fun.
I think that's a great idea. Let's do it. All right, we're going to do that.
All right.
There we go.
Deal.
We got a deal.
And it's on camera.
We have it.
So
yes.
It is recorded for the ages.
Well, now we're doing some really interesting things for Mr. Perfect. We've got Girls' Night Out, Friday night performances in which you can get a discount if you have to have 4 women, because it's a rom-com and a love story. They're going to like it. And we also have the Pay What You Can night.
Pay What You Will.
Pay What You Will, okay. Which is September
7th.
7th. So come to the theater, walk in, pay what you want to pay, come in and see the play.
And
All right.
and on Thursday, September 6th at 6:30, our early bird curtain is always on Thursdays. It's our free gift to the community. So anybody in the community can come and see that preview performance for free.
Right, and that's true for every
Show we do.
show that you do. Yeah.
But I will guarantee you will laugh a lot. Any play that starts with two people making love in the bathroom of an Airbus, it's got to go downhill from there.
Yes.
Did you say your line about the 1812?
Oh, my favorite line in the script is Zoe says when she's about to make love with headsets on, listening to a romance novel, to the unfortunate man she's chosen, when I make love, I like to listen to the 1812 overture. If that intimidates you, I've got the Minute Waltz. So, yeah.
Great line. Well, William Missouri Downs, Wendy Ishii, thank you for sitting down with us today on Stages.
Thank you, Lenny Scovel.